had very, very good talks today, having to do with Russia, Ukraine. Something could be happening. We likewise had very good talks on Iran. Iran looks like it wants to make a deal very badly. We have to see what that deal is. But I think Iran looks like they want to make a deal very badly, as they should. Last time they decided maybe not to do it, but I think they probably feel differently. We'll see what the deal is. It'll be different than last time. And we have a big armada. We have a big fleet heading in that direction. We'll be there pretty soon. So we'll see how that works out. The stock market, as you know, broke a number that they thought was going to be impossible to break. Certainly during my first year, they said if you could do it in your fourth year, by the fourth year, we broke 50,000 on the Dow. Most people thought that was not possible to do so quickly. We did it in the first year. So we're about 3 years ahead of schedule. It's going good. Prices are way down. You don't hear the Democrats talking about affordability anymore, which they caused the affordability problem very badly. But you don't hear that word. I haven't heard that word spoken in a week and a half because they can't speak because the prices are down. Energy's down. If you look at oil, if you look at gasoline, a gallon of gasoline in Iowa, I was there last week, was 185, 189, and 199 at 3 different stations. And it's that way in a lot of places. So gasoline is way down, energy's down, groceries are down. We've broken the Biden disaster, the mess that I inherited. The border is extremely secure, more so than it's ever been. We've got 9 months with 0 people coming in illegally. And I think the immigration problem we're doing very well. And crime is at a record low for 125 years. It's just announced. Lowest has been since 1900. That's pretty good. That's a long time. So do you have any questions, John?
All right, folks, buckle up because what you just watched from Forbes Breaking News is exactly why the media can't stand Donald Trump and why the American people keep rallying behind him. I want to break this down as a right-wing patriot, not as a media talking head, not as a DC insider, but as someone who actually cares about this country, its future, and whether the truth survives a nonstop spin machine. First, the big picture they don't want you focused on. Before the reporters even got to their gotcha questions, Trump laid out something huge, and it barely made headlines. We're talking active negotiations involving Russia, Ukraine, and Iran, a strong U.S. military presence backing up diplomacy pressure, without weakness peace talks without begging. That's called strength-based diplomacy, something we haven't seen in years. Trump didn't sound desperate. He didn't sound confused. He didn't sound like someone reading cue cards. He sounded like a commander-in-chief who knows exactly what leverage is. And Iran? He made it clear, no nuclear weapons. Deal or consequences. That's how you negotiate with hostile regimes, not by sending pallets of cash, not by apologizing, and not by pretending they're misunderstood. The economy, reality versus media silence. Then comes the part the media hates, talking about the numbers. Trump rattled off facts that demolished the Democrat narrative. Dow hitting 50, 000 gas under $2 a gallon in parts of the country, energy, prices down, grocery prices, falling, inflation crushed. Notice something interesting? You don't hear the word affordability anymore from Democrats. Not because they fixed it, but because Trump did. And instead of celebrating Americans being able to breathe again, the media rushes straight to a social media post. That tells you everything you need to know. Border security. Results speak louder than feelings. Trump says the border is the most secure it's been in history. And here's the thing, the data backs him up. Illegal crossings plummeting, criminal aliens being targeted, law enforcement empowered instead of demonized. For years we were told, you can't secure the border. It's impossible. It's racist. Turns out it was never impossible. It just required political will.
The results today were with Iran. It was a meeting. We're going to meet again early next week. And they want to make a deal. Iran, as they should want to make a deal. They know the consequences if they don't. If they don't make a deal, the consequences are very steep. So we'll see what happens. But they had a very good meeting with a very high representative of Iran, and we'll see how it all turns out.
Civil human rights groups.
See that, by the way, I'd love to see that. If we could do that, I'd love to see it.
Mr. President, is a deal that is acceptable that only covers with Iran? Is there a deal that only covers nuclear that would be acceptable to you? Because they just want to have nuclear. They don't want to have anything else. Like
that would be acceptable, but the one thing, and right up front, no nuclear weapons. If we could have made that deal 2 years ago, we would have made that deal, but they weren't willing to do that. Now they are willing to do it. So they're willing to do much more than they would have a year and a half ago, or even a year ago when don't forget, we've only been doing this for exactly 1 year. And we started with them a few months after the beginning of this term. This term has been amazing. But the results could surprise people. If they would have offered this deal originally when we first started, it would have been accepted immediately. We'll see what happens.
Mr. President, a number of people in the MAGA base say they aren't satisfied with the administration just focusing on deporting violent criminals. That they.
Who are you with?
I'm Natalie Ellison with the Washington Post.
Washington, but you're having a hard time getting readers. Washington Post is doing very poorly. Go ahead. You have a very bad attitude. Go ahead.
Well, a number of people in your base say that they want to see all illegal immigrants deported, even ones who are otherwise not.
Let me tell you about my base. My base has never been stronger. My base is me and other very good people that love our country. And if you talk about my base or the MAGA base, you could call it a lot of America First base. They couldn't be more thrilled. We have crime down to the lowest level that it's been in 125 years. We have a border that's totally closed. We have all the things that our base wanted, and we have the best economy in history. Prices are down. We inherited very high prices and the highest inflation in the history of our country. Think of it, the highest or 48 years. Some people say 48 years, but I'll take either one. So my base is very happy.
Would you support mass deportations of people who are otherwise law-abiding?
See everybody, but we're focusing on the criminals. We're focusing on killers. But ultimately, they all broke the law. Some can, if they do it in a certain way, they can go out. They can come back if they do it properly. But as you know, a lot of people have been deported. A lot. But the focus is on the murderers, the drug dealers. We have many people mentally insane. They dumped everything in our country. But ultimately, yeah, it's exactly as I said during the campaign. Yeah.
Mr. President, can you set the record straight? There were reports circulating that you told Chuck Schumer that in order to restore funding for the Gateway train tunnel in New York, New Jersey, you would want Penn Station and Dulles Airport to be named after you. Is that
true? He suggested that to me. Chuck Schumer suggested that to me about changing the name of Penn Station to Trump Station. Dulles Airport is really separate. Dulles Airport is really not too involved with Congress. That's a separate kind of a deal, as you know. But it was suggested to me by numerous people, unions, Democrats, Republicans. A lot of people suggested. Nothing's been done on that.
You frequently criticize Joe Biden for not knowing what is going on in his name. This racist video that was posted on your social media.
I'm a hell of a lot better than you do. You don't know what's going on. I know what's going on. No, Joe Biden didn't have a clue. But we know everything. And when you look at what's happening with our economy, think of it, we're way years ahead of schedule. We have thousands and thousands of businesses being built right now. So Joe Biden had no clue. If Joe Biden were elected or if Kamala were elected, we wouldn't have a country right now.
Trump didn't just talk about it. He did it. The racist clip controversy. Let's be honest. Now, let's get to the part the media really wanted. The social media clip. Here's what actually happened. Stripped of the hysteria. Trump reviewed a post about voter fraud. A staffer reposted content that included offensive imagery. At the end, it was taken down once Discovered Trump condemned the racist part directly. But the media wasn't satisfied. They didn't want clarification. They didn't want context. They wanted an apology tour and a submission ritual. Trump refused. And frankly, good. Because this wasn't about racism. It was about weaponizing outrage to distract from. A booming economy, border control, crime at historic lows, America regaining respect on the world stage. Black voters and the truth the media hates. Trump also did something the press despises. He reminded people of facts. Criminal justice reform permanent funding for HBCU's record support from black male voters. And he's right. Democrats talk endlessly about black Americans. Trump actually delivered policy results. That's why the media loses its mind every time Trump brings it up, because it breaks their narrative that minority voters are owned, controlled, and obedient. They aren't. Immigration and the base lie. A Washington Post reporter tried the classic move. Your base isn't satisfied. Trump shut that down immediately and correctly. His base isn't some fringe group. It's working Americans, law-abiding citizens, parents, veterans, small business owners. And guess what? They're thrilled. Because prioritizing deporting violent criminals, drug traffickers, and gang members is called common sense, not extremism. Law enforcement and the Savannah Guthrie case. Trump also addressed an investigation involving Savannah Guthrie's family, saying real progress is being made and that developments could be coming soon. No grandstanding. No leaking. No politicization, just results. That's how serious investigations are supposed to work. America's global standing, from laughingstock to leader. This might have been the most important line of the entire press conference. America went from being laughed at to being respected again. Investment pouring in, factories being built, AI plants, car plants, manufacturing returning home. $18 trillion in investment. That doesn't happen by accident. That happens when the world believes America is serious again. The media wanted scandal. What they got was a reminder. Strong leadership still matters, results still matter, and America first still works. You don't have to like Trump's tone. You don't have to like his style. But you cannot deny the outcomes. This wasn't a man on defense. This was a president on offense, confident, unapologetic, and focused on results. And that's exactly why they're terrified. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like the video if you're tired of media double standards. Subscribe for real reactions, not scripted outrage. Because the truth doesn't need permission, it just needs a microphone.